let me guess, you clicked on this video because you are wondering how to be happier and more positive in life. Well, you have come to the right place. In this video, I am going to share with you 4 tips on finding happiness within yourself and how to be more happy with yourself. Hey, I'm Abby J. I'm a life coach, I'm a public speaker, and I am crazy passionate about helping you learn the skills of self-development and crushing your goals. So for weekly videos on how to be your best self and live your best life, be sure to subscribe to my channel, AJ Life Hacks. Being happy and positive in life is a learned skill, and it's one you can easily and quickly develop if you commit to self-happiness and trying out these 4 tips that I have for you today. Now, I use these own tips in my life to drastically change my own happiness and how I see the world in a more positive light. I am not even the same person I was a couple years ago thanks to these happiness tips and the way that I look at life now. So I know they're going to change life for you. And be sure to stay to the end of this video because I've got a free download for anybody looking to jumpstart their happiness. So without further ado, let's dive right into these tips for you. Finding lasting happiness within yourself and having a more positive outlook in life can be something that people really struggle with. And I have found that where they start to struggle with being happy on the long term and being happy with their life and seeing the world in a more positive light is they don't do this first tip, which is to root your happiness in what matters most. Now, a lot of us have rooted our happiness in situations. So we say things like, oh, I'm happy if I have a good hair day, or I'm happy when I bought a new outfit, or I'm happy when I get a raise, right? But I'm really sad when bad things happen to me, or I don't feel good, or somebody said something rude, right? These are all situations that happen to us all the time. But these things should not affect your happiness. Now, I'm not pretending that that's easy, right? It's hard not to be sad and discouraged when the whole world seems against you, right? But if you can root your happiness in what matters most, i.e. relationships, then you can find greater happiness and joy over the long term, because your relationships, as it's been found in study after study after study, is the #1 factor of your happiness. Is surrounding yourself with people who love you. It's realizing that your life is wonderful and has value because of the people in it and because of who you are as a person. So start to actively and mindfully put your happiness and what makes your day great, shift that focus away from the situation to what matters most, right? To those relationships, to the people that you touch and the person that you are. A perfect example of what not to do with this first tip is an experience that I had quite a few years ago. I'm 17, I'm at Disneyland, right? I should be over the moon happy, right? That's what would be true if situational happiness was like a real thing, right? If we had to be happy because something wonderful was happening to us, which we all know is not true. Case in point, Disneyland. I'm 17, I'm at Disneyland, and I'm standing in line for the Monsters, Inc. ride, and the ride attendant says to me, do you know where you are? And really taken off guard and being an angsty teenager, I was like, yeah, I'm at Disneyland. And he said, well, then why do you look miserable? And wow, talk about a reality check. He was absolutely right. I'm at Disneyland with my family in beautiful sunny California, and I was miserable. I looked it, and I was miserable because my boyfriend at the time wasn't texting me. Okay, perfect example of taking a situation where I should have been really happy, right? And making it miserable because I was rooting my happiness in things that did not matter. So don't be like me and put your happiness where it matters most. My second tip for you on finding happiness within is to commit to happiness. Now, hear me out, because I'm sure you've heard this tip before, but I think I can show it to you in a different light. Because every single day that you wake up, you have a choice. You can be happy or you can be miserable or somewhere in between, right? Now, why wouldn't you choose happiness? Why wouldn't you choose to look at the world in a really positive light? Now, I'm sure you can rattle off a million things. Well, I don't feel good, or I'm sick, or my boyfriend didn't call me, or you know what, you just don't understand my life. It's really hard. No, true. I totally know that we all have trials and challenges, but you're not unique in that, right? Life is the great equalizer in that we all have problems. We all have things that we hate about ourselves. We all have things that make our life really hard sometimes, right? But we also have things that make our life really awesome. So why not focus on those awesome things? I have never once, not once, been in a situation that a positive attitude or, you know, having more joy or looking at the situation with a brighter light didn't help the situation. Every time that I've like really been in a pickle is because I like chose to be miserable, right? I chose to look at it with the wrong attitude. So part of living a really positive life and finding more happiness is to commit to it. Just know that when you wake up, you are going to be happy. And it's a new day every single day, and fight for happiness. We all know those people that wake up miserable, and it takes them all day to like warm up to the idea of maybe like life is kind of enjoyable. So choose it first thing in the morning. Don't give yourself a second to think about the alternative, and choose happiness. I wanted to make one little note here though, that I'm not pretending that this is easy every single day. Yes, some days you're gonna wake up, not think twice about it, have an amazing day, right? Some days life is gonna hit you upside the head and it's gonna be hard. And I'm not pretending that this is like a band-aid solution and this will solve all of your problems. You'll still have problems, you'll still have trials, you'll still have hard days, but this is the challenge, to look at it with a positive and uplifting attitude and viewpoint, that there can be happiness found in nearly every situation. And so please don't like leave a mean comment saying like, I don't understand that life is hard. Believe me, I do. But life can be infinitely easier with the right attitude. Okay, now that you are rooting your happiness in where it matters most, you're choosing to have a positive outlook on life and be happier with yourself, my third tip for you is to turn to Christ. Now, I know that we all know this on the surface level, right? I've been a Christian my whole life, and we all know that Christ is there, right? And we all know that Christ can help us in our situations and in our life. But until I actually put this, principle of faith into practice, I didn't understand it or use it the way that I could be. And I was missing out on so much joy. What this looks like is having faith that good things are ahead of you, that your future is as bright as your faith. Because when I was little, I say that like that was so long ago. When I was like a teenager, I really would question who I was and if what I was doing was worthwhile, or, if all my effort to like spend time with my family, to hang out with my friends, to do good in school, and to like go out and have a life was worth it, because I just wasn't sure what was ahead of me, and I was scared and I was doubtful, and I just did not have the confidence that my life would turn out wonderful. And to have that doubt, to have that fear, it destroys your happiness. It destroys your positive outlook on life. And so when I finally embraced this principle of turning to Christ and having full faith in my future, it changed my life. All of a sudden, I realized that if Christ really did love me and care about me and want what's best for me, then why wouldn't my future be wonderful? If I'm working this hard, good things have to be ahead. And so that's kind of what this tip boils down to, is having the faith to know that God loves you way too much to let you live a mediocre, miserable life. The only person who can do that to yourself is you. So, take that in for a second. There are only wonderful things ahead of you in life. And to have that outlook, to truly believe that and have the faith in that, will drastically change the way you see the world. And it's easy to be positive, right? It's easy to be happy, to know that no matter what you are going through, Christ is there to help you, and that there is joy and hope and love on the other side. Just a really quick side note, if you feel like you are going through a really tough time, or feel like heaven is very far away. I've done a video on how to receive answers to your prayers that worked for me. Obviously, it's a very like personal thing, but it's worked for me. So I will be sure to link that video down below, because I think we've all been there too when heaven feels a little distant and we need just a little bit of a boost to get to that step, number 3, of having complete faith in our future. Now, my last tip for you on finding happiness within is not to wait for happiness. Happiness, if you let it, will always be beyond your reach. I know that for me, happiness was always just right over the horizon. When I got a job, when I graduated high school, when I graduated college, I'd be happy, right? Or when I got married, I'd be happy. And if we aren't careful, happiness can always be out there as this elusive target that we have yet to figure out. But we've got it pinned. If I just get that raise, or if I just, have longer hair. Like, that legit was a real one for me. When I just have longer hair, I'll be happier with who I am and I'll be happier in my life, right? I'm here to tell you that if you are waiting for happiness to come and find you because of a situation, because of a circumstance, because of somebody else, it will pass you by. So stop waiting for happiness. If you agree with this tip, leave a happy today down below, because this tip, if I had only known it a couple years ago, I'd be even happier than I am now, which is hard to believe. But I, for forever, kept waiting for happiness. It was just beyond myself. So commit right now to not leave your happiness to chance, to not wait for it, and to experience joy today. Now, I get it. Sometimes we have these happiness barriers in our life, right? And they're big, they're daunting, and they're all consuming in the moment, and we just can't even think about being happy or positive in life until literally that wall is destroyed. One of these for me was a job. I was at a job that literally made me miserable. I quit that job. I didn't even have another one lined up because I decided that one more day of wasting my happiness, of wasting my potential, of wasting my joy was not worth it. And so if you are facing a happiness barrier, do all that you can to destroy it, to move past it, and to get on with your life and experience joy and happiness today. Finding happiness within and being more positive every single day is something that we all can achieve with a little bit of effort. So I hope that these 4 tips have given you some actionable and real ways that you can implement every single day to be happier and find more joy in your life. I can't thank you enough for watching, but hey, take a moment and leave a comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to know which of these tips you enjoyed the most, which ones you're going to try out starting immediately. Maybe I'll give you like a minute break to finish this video, but then you got to start. You got to do these tips. So leave that for me down below. I'll respond to you, I promise. And please hit that like button so I know that you enjoyed this video and I can do more like it. Now, I'm going to put some videos up to the side and all around me so that you can see some other videos that I've done on improving your outlook on life and happiness and joy. So I hope you enjoy those. Again, if you've made it this far, might as well hit that subscribe button so that you can be a part of the AJ Life Hacks Club and crush it at your goals and living your best life. So thanks again for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. AJ out.